You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tech for Tech's Tech Talk. This is a live show where we help your IT business grow. And if you don't know, I'm Phil Griffiths. I'm going to say I think it's pretty straightforward. It tells you that on the intro, but just in case you didn't realise, my name is Phil. Today's episode is All In. Here's one from Loop. And I'm joined today by Stephen and Gary. And they're going to introduce themselves in a second and let you know who they are. But first of all, if you can all let us know if you can hear and see us. That way, obviously, we know we are live and not just talking to ourselves and wasting a good hour of our lives. So I can see Tim said hi. So hi, Tim. And we've also got Richard as well saying hi. So hi, Richard. So it looks like you can hear us. There is going to be a bit of a delay, so I'm just waiting for you to respond. And hi, Cormac. How you doing? He's known as the King of Ireland, if you didn't know Stephen and Gary. He's quite a celebrity over there, near enough.
I've been watching in previous broadcasts.
It's
quite regular.
Looks like we've got quite a few people popping up, as you can see on the chat. We've got Alison, Marianne, Chris as well. So Peter's on there as well. So yeah, I think people can hear and see us. If not, it's going to be an interesting show. Right, okay, if you are in the Tech for Tech Facebook group, if you could just click on this link, what I'm going to post, and that will stop your name be shown as Facebook user in the chat. Don't get me wrong, if you've clicked it in the past, you probably won't need to press it again, but just in case your name pops up as Facebook user, just click on that, and it just allows Facebook to communicate with the software we use, so obviously people know who you are rather than just calling you Facebook user all the show. Right, okay, so first of all, let's go on to Stephen. Stephen, can you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are or who you work for, what you do, and anything else you'd like to tell us as well while you're at it.
Goodness, the floor's mine. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I've been following your broadcasts for quite a while now, and you're doing a fantastic job, Phil, so I appreciate it. And I'm very grateful that you've given us the chance to come on as well. So my name's Stephen Blomfield. I work for Loop, but I've been selling cases to the UK market now for, goodness, it's coming up to over 20 years. And Loop has been going since 2007. I noticed when you published that we were going to be on last week, there were a few comments that referred to where I was working previously. And actually, it might be interesting for some people to know that a lot of the employees that were at my previous company, Enlight, we were quite famous for making cases around the world. Some of the engineers and managers went to set up Loop. So there's a wealth of expertise, knowledge and experience dating back to the 70s when Enlight was set up that's there in Loop. And we manufacture, we design computer cases, chassis, housing, and all-in-ones, which is what I'm going to be talking about today.
Right, I think that pretty much starts us for the intro. Let's move on to Gary then. So Gary, if you'd like to introduce yourself, let us know who you are, what you do, and who you work for.
My time to shine. Okay, well, hello all, and again, thanks for having me on. So my name's Gary. It's Gary Deane. I work for CI Distribution. I've been in the distribution channel for about 20 years. So yeah, it's I'm here to answer any questions that you may have, and I've known Steve probably for the vast majority of that time. So yes, when you alluded to Enlight, I've known him since then, and many more things. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell, and I'll give you a little bit more about me later on.
That's no problem. So, right, let's just go on to the chat. Right, chat, guys who are watching, should I say, if you do have any questions for these guys, feel free to ask through the show. We will have a Q&A at the end. We may be able to answer one or two questions while the show is going off as well. If you didn't know, obviously, we're talking about basically all-in-one systems at the moment. So how Loop does them a little bit different for you. So, at that, I'm going to pass you over to Stephen now, who's going to do a presentation and basically tell you all about Loop and what they have to offer. Over to you, Stephen.
Okay, I'll just go in and start sharing the screens, and then I'll talk over them.
That's fine. And when you want the videos playing, just let me know.
I'll let you know when to show a video. Is that coming through? It's flickering.
It should come on now. Oh, that's your end.
Yeah, I see it's flickering. Oh, there we go. It's stabilized.
Yeah, and there we go. Hopefully you're all up and running now. So here we go. So there you go. So everyone should be able to see that.
So, like I said before, Loop. We design, we manufacture PC cases. We work with famous manufacturers around the world that are making other components, and we try to work with local OEMs around the world, system builders, and provide solutions that will enable them to compete and offer alternatives in the marketplace. So we rely on the connections that we have in the local distribution channels, and whether they're large system builders or whether they're independent stores, we want to engage with all the possible opportunities that we can to enable customers to be able to use our products and provide computer solutions to their customers. And so with the PC chassis, it used to be really simple. It would just be a tower and a desktop. And then I suppose it was around about 98, 99. And then you saw Apple with their all-in-ones. And we developed something at that time for the company that I was working for that enabled standard desktop components. And really it's evolved from that. Because of the success that we had with those all-in-ones, we were able to develop all-in-one products that were really catered or targeted to system builders using standard desktop components from a chassis point of view. And it just helped us be able to work with the system builders and be able to support them with different designs and flexibilities that were specific to their local markets as well. Not just one product for the whole world, but lots of different variations. And now at Loop, we have quite a comprehensive portfolio of products that I hope I can share a few with you that we stock in the UK. So let's.
Is it not playing ball?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
There we go.
So these are some of the models that we have available, and we've produced anything from a 34-inch all-in-one. Oh, is it coming up? There we go. A 34-inch curved screen and 32-inch curved screen. And then we'll do a 19-inch all-in-one as well. And there'll be different platforms that can mount on behind the monitor, behind that panel. And 5 of these we stock in the UK with Centerprise, with CI Distribution. So CI Distribution has stock of all of these models, and we think these are the mainstream all-in-ones that a lot of independents and system integrators would be interested in, and what the customers would be interested in. In the past, we've sold them direct to system integrators, larger system builders that can order in large quantity. But what we discovered is that there's so many customers out there that might not be able to order such huge quantity, or might have a project and they need immediate stock. And that's where my partnership with Centerprise, CI Distribution, and their ability to hold the stock and interest in the product themselves, and the relationship that I have with them, it's just work that we're able to provide a really quick turnaround And I'll explain a little bit more about some of the problems that people might have had in the past and what we've done to try to alleviate some of those, or reasons why they might not have done all-in-ones in the past. So these are the 5 models that we stock: 2380, 2700, 2386, 2702 and 2385. And you'll see the different form factors that I've written underneath there in blue that all of those 5 models have. So our approach has been from a system integrator perspective, and we've tried to produce products that use standard desktop components. And we know that with all-in-ones, they're not suitable for every solution, but it's an alternative. Customers are expecting a choice. So there might be applications where it's a desired requirement to have an all-in-one. For example, in a school, they want to save space, or they want to eliminate the cabling, so they don't want such a big tower under the desk or something like that. There might always be an opportunity, and we know that there's great demand for gaming cases and chassis that can hold these large graphics cards. And we're not saying that we're here to replace that, but our all-in-ones offer an option, a choice. You might have a requirement for an ultra small form factor or a mini PC, but we know that 15% of the desktop marketplace is going to all-in-one PCs. And so this is a chance for local system builders, independent computer stores, to be able to provide these solutions and offer them. So I tried to write down a few reasons why there might have been some previous hesitancy to all-in-one PCs. And I think the first thing that I hear when I speak to people is that it's proprietary components. And I even had one chap at a computer shop, he said to me, if we can, we try to steer customers away from all-in-ones because we can't service them, we can't support them, we can't fix them. They're a nightmare to deal with. And I've heard that, and luckily they're quite impressed when they see our product and the solutions that we have for them. But that might have been a reason in the past that you go inside the back of one of these and where are you going to get the parts from? Or it might be 6 years old or something like that. You can't fix it. You can't get the replacement parts. Maybe they were imported from a factory in China that's no longer available to even communicate with. And so proprietary components has always been a little bit of a concern. And I'll be able to explain to you how we can get away from that and alleviate that concern and knock over that hurdle straight away. Or then it might be continuity of supply or no spare parts, or it might be long lead times, because typically you place an order and it has to take time to be produced in the Far East. And goodness me, right now, the lead times for shipping have been extended. The price for shipping has been extended. You've probably seen it with a number of different components, extended lead times or lack of availability. And so we're aware of this, and we're trying to address these issues as well with the help of CI distribution. So these might have been some of the concerns that people had in the past. And what we've done is we've tried to say, right, we're going to stock the product. We're going to make sure that we've got the spares available. We're going to give confidence so that people know that the product's available, it's on its way in, or they can see when stock's coming in, and they can go out and quote customers. Maybe your local school or something like that as a requirement for a classroom of desktops, or maybe a local business just wants to refresh the desks in their office, and they want so, or it might be just a domestic user, a home user that just wants a nice office at home that's clutter-free, and that's a great application for an all-in-one. So you can have the confidence that you can phone up CID and have it next day. You can have the stock, provided you're not too late in the day to order, and they'll be able to support you with building it, configuring it. If you want, they'll even configure it for you if you don't have the resources to be able to do that yourself. And typical questions that I get, which I thought would be good to share with you, is, for example, what screen size have you got available for all-in-ones? Or what's the panel quality like? Because effectively you're buying a monitor, so you want to know, is it a good quality panel? And I should say that we have a 0 defect pixel policy at Loop. So if you have a problem with that panel, you can get it exchanged, send it back to CI distribution. We can get that sorted for you. Now, then you might want to know which type of platform is inside and how you can service it, what components there are, what form factor it might be, or how's the CPU called, or what type of CPU is it? Is it a mobile CPU? Is it a desktop CPU? And can you Visa mount it? That's a very common question. Or can you put an extra graphics card inside? So across our 5 models that we have in stock, we try to cover some of those key questions that people have about all-in-ones. And these are the first 2. You'll see they carry the same ID. The only real difference is the size of the panel. One's a 23.8 inch and one's a 27 inch panel. And on the 2380 and the 2700, the form factor is micro ATX. So that means that you can put any micro ATX motherboard inside the back of it. You can choose whether it's an Intel platform, you can choose whether it's an AMD platform, and it will just take a standard desktop CPU. So this is important for you to know that actually you're putting together a really powerful system that would compete with any tower PC. So the desktop CPU can be cooled by, there's enough space to put a standard CPU cooler that might come in the box with the CPU if you're purchasing it retail box. And then there's lots of space for extra storage, whether you put an SSD on board on the motherboard or whether you want extra storage for 2.5 inch SSDs. There's plenty of space. On the 2700, you could fit 4 extra 2.5 inches, which is more than I can imagine most of you would need. The other key features about these 2 particular models is that it's got an internal flex ATX power supply. Some people like that for security reasons or just because they don't want to have an external power supply plugged in. If it's in a, for example, a public user environment, like in a school or in an office, they can sometimes go missing, those external power supplies, and so or just get detached. So some people might like the option of an internal power supply. This has Visa mount on both of these models, and as you'd expect with an all-in-one, it has those multimedia features like speakers, microphone, the webcam, and we also install the Wi-Fi antenna as well. So I think these are strong, these are robust designs. They have a metal back cover, but one thing that also stands out, both of these, you can fit a discrete graphics card inside as well. You can speak to CI distribution, order the optional riser card, and the 2380 takes a low profile graphics card, and the 2700, it takes a dual slot short graphics card. You can see that in the bottom right of the picture. That's the inside of the 2700. So there's a lot of flexibility. This is an extremely versatile option, both of these, for micro ATX all-in-one. I'm going to move on now. That's the specification. I suppose if you're watching this back, you can pause it and take a little bit more of a detailed look at that. So I'll move on again, and you can see some more internal pictures. You can see there's an option for optical drive or the USB slots on the side as well. People like some AIO functionality on all-in-ones. So these 2 models, again, the 2386 and the 2702, these are the same ID, but the difference is in the size of the panel. So 23.8 inch panel or a 27 inch panel. You can see the design is a lot slimmer, a lot more sleek. We go with a different design stand. It's a single arm that mounts on a single pivot point. There is a bracket that you can purchase if you want to take away the stand and Visa mount it. We can provide a bracket that enables it to be Visa mountable as well. But we didn't want to use exactly the same stand. We wanted to have some variation, and we also think that this might attract a different target market. Maybe as a consumer user, somebody in the home might want something that's not such a bulky, robust all-in-one, but something that's just slim and sleek. And this one, it has a webcam, but it tucks away at the top of it, so you can have some privacy as well, or you can just flick it out, and I'll show you how that works on some other all-in-ones that we do. Because it's slimmer, it doesn't take a micro ATX motherboard. You'll see in the description. The specification or the form factor for this is Thin Mini ITX. Thin Mini ITX was introduced by Intel probably around about 2010, 2011, and not all manufacturers of motherboards provide these, and sometimes it might be difficult to get the latest spec or even have the supply that you need. So what we decided for the UK is that we would partner with a manufacturer and bring it in as a bundle. So the Thin Mini ITX motherboard is already installed inside the all-in-one. It doesn't have to be. If you don't want it to be installed, speak to CI Distribution and we'll work on something to get them so that there's no motherboard inside. But we thought it would be easier. And so we partnered with Asus. And so we put in the stock at CI Distribution, we have the Asus Thin Mini ITX motherboard inside. Currently for 10th gen, it's the H410. We've sold out of those, so we've got some more coming in of the H410 chipset. I think we've still got some H310 that we're bundling with some 9th generation CPUs that are a fantastic price if you speak to CI Distribution about those. And the H410 is going to be available soon when new stock arrives in, because they've been quite hot at the moment. And before you know it, in a few months' time, we're going to be onto H510 as well. What's good is that everything's all connected up, ready, and your Wi-Fi's in there already, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth card. I think I mentioned that the previous models, there is a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth card that you can install on those as well. And you'd expect that on an all-in-one. And this is a fantastic solution, and it's still a desktop CPU. So we provide the CPU cooler. On the next slide, there's a picture of it. It has to be with a heat pipe to keep the system low profile, but that runs really quiet. And I suppose, having mentioned that, that's something I should tell you about. We do all of those testings. We have to test for EMI for legal reasons. So we test our chassis with a number of different configurations so that they're compliant and don't radiate too much emissions. And then we also test for thermals, because it's got to be able to perform with all the components that are inside. And we also test for acoustics as well, because the last thing you want is a PC on your desk right in front of you that's making loads of noise. So we try to keep it as quiet as possible. And there has to be some cooling. You can appreciate that on a lot of all-in-ones, but we try to keep it minimal and functioning with optimal thermal performance. So you can see the picture here with the pop-up camera. And you can see we add some I/O, some USB ports at the back of the unit as well. So that's a really nice minimal option with the desktop platform. So you're using a powerful CPU. You can have i3, i5, i9 in there, as long as it's only up to 65 watt TDP. So that's the 2386 and 2702. There's a picture of the inside of it with the Thin Mini ITX motherboard. And you've got the option for another 2.5-inch hard drive if you want. You can have your NVMe, for example, on the motherboard, and then you can have extra storage as well, or offer an upgrade with extra storage. Now I'm going to spend some time talking about our 5th model. It's the 2385.
Can I stop you there 1 second, Stephen? Do you want me to play the video for the previous one? You wanted?
I think that would be great. Yeah, thanks, Phil.
Yeah, before you start on this other one, I thought get that one out of the way.
Oh yeah, I didn't show the video on the 2386 and 2702. I was rambling.
Yeah. Yeah, you were rambling a little bit. And just let the guys know in chat, we'll come to your questions in a few minutes. There are a few what have come in. We'll get to those at the after Stephen's had his presentation done. So let me just play that video. And this one is for the 2386-2702. So
should we play that now? Okay, all right.
Let me get that one done for you, and then we can do the other one afterwards. When you're ready.
Okay. Oh, thanks, Phil. I was going to say both of these. They're on YouTube. You go and have a look at them. Just look up the YouTube channel, Loop International. We haven't got a huge number of videos, but we thought we'd show the all-in-one so that people could understand them and appreciate them, and you might even want to share the video of it with your customers as well. So 2386 and 2702, the same ID. There are optional back covers. There's your webcam. And that has, when you flick that down, it disables the webcam and the microphone. We tried to make it so that it's frameless. I think that's the trend. People want something that's as minimalist as possible. So we've put that frame in as discreet as we can. You've got rear access to the USB 3. And I think that's one of the reasons why people choose it. They choose all-in-ones because of the aesthetics, don't they? They want a minimalist desktop look, and they want it to be clutter-free. So you can see how we cool the CPU cooler on the heat pipe. And there's your two models, 27-inch and 23.8-inch. I think sometimes we refer to it as just the 24-inch, to be honest. Thanks for that, Phil.
That's no problem. That's good. There we go.
Should we do the video of the... Shall I talk about the 2385 first, and then we'll go into the video?
Yeah, just show it when you're ready for the video, and I'll remind you if you get at the end.
So, we're introducing a platform here that's designed and developed by Intel, and we've incorporated it in our all-in-one, and I'm mindful that some people might have not even heard of this. So I'm sure you've all heard of Intel Nooks, and this is part of the Intel Nook family. This is Intel Nook Elements. And we have produced, in collaboration with Intel, the chassis version of the Intel Nook Elements. So we're the chassis element. And the Intel Nook element, you can see it just to the right of the picture underneath the side profile of the all-in-one. That's the compute element that will go inside, and I've got one here. This is what it is, and this incorporates the CPU, the memory, and the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth module. And what you're doing is you're just slotting this in to a common platform. They call it the assembly element. And that interface that it slots into is going to be for future platforms as well, or for future compute elements too. So you could say it's future-proof. So that's going to be a common interface going forward. So this one I've got in my hand is an 11th gen compute element. In the past they did 8th gen and they just jumped straight to 11th gen. But you can expect the 12th gen coming out, and future generations of the compute element will be launched, and they'll slot into this common platform. And so we provide the all-in-one with that assembly element already built inside. It's called the carrier board is what we call it. And in the carrier board, you can mount your SSD. So you can choose the NVMe SSD. And we also provide space for a 2.5-inch hard drive as well. And this is a fantastic solution that Intel have developed. It's designed for 24/7 use. They're supporting it with 3 years warranty straight away on the Intel Elements. Customers have tested the 8th gen and the 11th gen, and the optimization on it is really good because it's designed for various applications, whether it be digital signage or whether it be rugged industrial use. So it's going to be a common compute element that goes into various applications, and so they've designed it to be extremely robust, and the optimization on it's extremely good. Then we also appreciate that a monitor might be used and you want to add in extra peripherals or devices, and so there's an HDMI in, and so you can plug in whether it's a gaming device or another TV or a set-top box or even your laptop, another laptop that you use mobile, but you want to put it onto a larger screen. So the 2385 is fantastic for that, just to be your desktop workstation or a docking station. And so now I think it's probably a good time to show the video, Phil, and then it will show some of the features of the 2385.
Yeah, that's no problem. Let me get that video ready. Just to let you guys know as well, we do have a review coming out tomorrow of the 2385. So you'll actually be able to see what it's like, me assembling it, disassembling it, upgrading it, and see how easy it is. And I would really recommend you take a look, especially if you're wanting to resell something like this in your store. It gives you lots of endless opportunities. And without spoiling the review, I did highly recommend it. Let's just put it that way. So let's start you off with the video then, before I spoil it anymore. Here we go.
I know not all computers used to look like that, but you get the idea.
Some used to look worse than that.
Yeah, exactly. So we've gone with the frameless design. And at the moment, this is only available in the 23.8 inch. But there it is. There's the compute element and your SSD plugging into the assembly element, the carrier board that comes standard already inside as a bare bone. We've connected it to a height adjustable stand, which gives you height, tilt, swivel, rotate functionality. And especially in multiple user environment, people want the flexibility of adjusting the monitor so that it just suits them. Actually, even in your office, you want to be able to adjust it and just make it right rather than stick a whole wad of paper underneath the stand. So there's your webcam you saw, and USB 3 at the back. They're going to take the stand off and you're going to be able to see how easy it is to access the inside. So any system builder or independent can just open up the back, put in the compute element card and configure it and provide it to customers. If you can't do it yourself, of course, CI Distribution are happy to do it, but it's really that simple. Intel have made it modular is the word that they use. They've made this modular all-in-one that everybody can access. You can purchase one unit from CI Distribution, or 50 or 100, depending on your project. And you can know that you've got the support from Intel with the compute elements. You know that you could sell it to your customers and say, look, in the future, you've got the same all-in-one. We'll just upgrade it with a new element, compute element. And then they're happy. They've got a brand new up-to-date system straight away. It's as simple as just taking the old compute element out and putting a new compute element in. They've got to see your review, haven't they, Phil?
They will. It was very easy. Basically, just take the back off, rip the old, well, not rip it, but pull it out. It pops out like a stick of probably laptop memory sort of thing. There's just two screws, pops out, and then you just push the other one in. But it takes about 30 seconds to boot the machine back up, and then bang, it's working. So I went from 8th gen to 11th gen pretty easily.
I completely understand the hesitancy some people have on new platforms. And goodness me, I remember Micro ATX coming out in '97 or something like that, and it's still with us, right? And there are some times I was told once the only thing constant in the IT industry is change. There's change, there's evolution, there's developments, but sometimes we're a little bit hesitant to change because we worry about how we're going to support it or maintain it, because some of the people, especially in this community, a lot of their business is support and maintenance. A lot of their business is the relationships that they've got with their local customers. And so I can assure you that this couldn't be easier. You'll find this a breath of fresh air. But it is important that I help you understand how Intel have... there we go. Gone to the next slide. I've gone too early. Here we go. How they describe it and how they're presenting this Nook elements solution. So there are different elements to the whole module. So you can see, I don't know how to make it simpler than this. I just picked this from their website. There's the compute element, which is the compute element card. That's this. Then there's the board element, which is what the compute card slots into. And that's combined with the assembly element, because that's the metal housing and the cooler for the compute card, because you've got, this generates some heat, so you've got to cool it. So there's a cooler integrated in that. That's all from Intel. We integrate that assembly element into our all-in-one. And so we offer the Nook chassis element. I can't make it any simpler than that. And Intel have done a fantastic job in making it very simple to put this solution together. So there's the spec. You can see you've got all I think is your necessary I/O. If you don't want to use the Wi-Fi, you can hardwire a network cable into it. You've got USB, you've got HDMI in and out. You've got an internal power supply. Again, I think this is important to mention that some people like that. In something so slim, we've managed to fit an internal power supply. And you've got your multimedia functions, your speakers, your webcam, and your microphone all integrated. So I won't spend too long on this, but these are the common questions again. And I've just put this matrix up there so that people can refer to it maybe in the future. What screen size do customers need? Who's the all-in-one for? What's the end user? What motherboard or platform are they looking for? Do they want the compute element? Do they want thin mini ITX, or do they want a micro ATX solution? That might depend on the type of CPUs that you want to put in there. Do you want an internal or external power supply? Do you want an extra GPU card? That might determine which all-in-one you're going to choose. Even, do you need touchscreen? Some people want a touchscreen on their all-in-one, and we do have that in the range. It's not one of the 5 models that we stock, but we can stock it. It's just as simple as saying to CI Distribution, we want it, and then we can make it available. We can bring them into the UK as well. And then, do you need the Visa height adjust solution? So now I'm just giving you a sneak peek at a new model. I don't even think Gary's seen this model. This is all-in-one Pro, and at the moment, the tooling's already been done for the 24-inch, but it gives you front access to some of the AIO ports and an optical drive if ever you need it on the side. And this is going to be a new one that we're introducing with Visa mount, so you can have it with various stands that we've got available, including the height adjust stand. And then these are some other chassis that we've got. Oh, an ultra small form factor. I thought I'd throw that one in there because that's brand new that we're releasing on the thin mini ITX platform. And then just to recap, like all good news reporters, they always summarize the news at the end. So those are the 5 models: the 2380, 2700, 2385, the Nook Elements, 2386 and 2702. If you've been wondering, this all-in-one to the side of me, this is the 2385 with the webcam that just pops up and down, and you've got height adjust as well. Let's see, there we go. So that's the 2385. I thought I'd just have that to the side of me so that you could see how it looks on the desk. And if you want to see it, either speak to CI Distribution, get them to send you a sample, or give me a call and I'll come and visit you. I love getting out and visiting people, especially over the last year and a half. We haven't been able to do it. I'm happy to make time. We'll plan something where I can come up, visit you on my travels and show you the products and give you a hands-on look at them. And you can get a feel for the quality and see how easy it is to build inside them all. So that's the end of my slides, Phil. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. I've taken up,
there we go,
more than enough time, I think, going through them all.
That's no problem. I think we pretty much covered it.
I haven't looked to see if anyone's commented or asked any questions along the way.
Don't worry. I'll go through those in a second. We'll just do a quick bit with Gary. He can basically tell us a bit about CID. Then we'll go through all the questions because they'll all obviously be mixed in there. So, right, Gary, it's your turn to talk. Don't worry, you don't have to go on about like Stephen did. You haven't got like 2 hours. So
I was all prepared as well. I got 14 pages of it here.
Yeah, I have a feeling everyone will be tuned off after number 5. But
I'll keep it short. I'll condense it all. So, thanks for that, Phil. So, just to give you a little bit more about myself and CI Distribution, it's part of the Enterprise Group. The CI Distribution is split into 2 key areas, really. You've got the north and the south. The south deal with more of the rugged solutions, so your Panasonic Toughbooks, GTAC, iKey, Kangaroo, NetMotion, Zebra, that kind of thing, providing a kind of rugged laptop, tablet storage and mobility software. So that's where the southern part of it comes in. I work for CI Distribution North or Midlands. And we have been brought on to develop more of the mainstream portfolio, of which Loop is one of our key brands. That said, we do other items, MSI, Gigabyte, Shuttle, Tender, Patriot, Steel Series, Bullgods, and ProWise Transcend, that kind of thing. So I've gone through them very, very quickly because I know I've got a little amount of time. But that's more, it's providing the small form factor side of things, gaming peripherals, homing networking. And we're also just about to launch with MSI Gaming professional monitors and their range of peripherals as well. I just wanted to get back onto the part about where Steve was going with our warehouse. So yes, we have all of the loop in stock that Steve has spoke about, and we can do, as he said, anywhere between 1 and hundreds should you require. We also have the facility at our Caerphilly warehouse to build up to 800 systems a day should you need it. So you have the support there if indeed you don't want to build them yourself. I know that they're very simple to do, and Steve alluded to how easy they are, and I'm sure the review that you'll see from Phil will also show how easy they are as well. But yeah, we do have that facility. And it's there to be used. By all means, use me to get samples to yourselves, anything that Steve's spoken about. And I look forward to speaking with you all. I know Phil's got my email address, which he's putting up on screen for you now. Reach out to me. I'll show you how to sign up with ourselves, and I can, take you through pricing and availability.
Right, that's pretty good.
Keep it really short for you there, Phil, because I'm conscious of time.
Oh, you're making me feel bad, Gary. I thought we're not finishing for another 2 hours.
Yeah, someone didn't fill me in with that one either. No, we're all right. Let's have a look. Let's go through some of these questions then. So I had some questions come in before the show, and then we'll go through the ones what have come in since. I'm going to turn the side chat back on as well. So if anyone does want to comment any more questions, feel free. They'll pop up on the screen as well. Right. So first question is actually for you, Gary. Is do you have to be VAT registered to use CID? As a lot of independents are not registered, or are new businesses looking to grow and have yet to register?
You don't have to be VAT registered. We do have quite a simple form that you'll just fill out and come back, send it back to myself, and we can do all the due diligence and stuff. But no, you don't. We can deal with sole traders. That's not a problem.
Well, that's a pretty simple answer and an easy question. Next question is also to you as well, Gary. Sorry, Stephen. I think
that's all right. That's all right. I've had enough. I've been talking.
Is actually regarding that as well. Is ordering? Can you just do it on cash, or do you have to have a credit account? So if you sign up, do you have to sign up for credit terms and stuff like that, or can they just pay via the debit card or whatever, or do a bank transfer straight away?
Again, obviously, we'd need to do our due diligence, get you set up on our system. Once we've got you set up on our system, you don't have to have credit facilities. You can pay cash in backs. I can take you through all that, like I say, if you reach out to me.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Right, so this is also a question what's sort of popping up on screen at the moment. It says, what happens if something goes wrong? So this is for you, I'm presuming, Stephen. How quick to get a replacement, and are you able to ship the parts rather than having to change the whole system? And also I can see Chris has just posted, is a warranty on the loop machines return to base, or are you able to supply on-site warranties?
Actually, that's a good question. So, because it's important to clarify, most people, if they're configuring the system, because we provide it as a bare bone, if they're building the system, the last thing you want to do is to take all of the components out for one small issue, especially if you know that you can fix the problem yourself. So we've got the spare parts. We can provide the spare parts if that's what you want us to. We want to work with you and make it easy for you to offer these all-in-one solutions to your customers. So I don't know what it might be. If it's a power supply, for example, we can send you the spare power supply. You can replace it yourself. if you really don't want to do something like that, then I'll come visit you. I'll do it myself, or just send the unit back to CI distribution, and we'll send the replacement, or we'll fix it and replace the part. But it's as simple as us just sending you the component and you just changing it. If there is something that goes wrong, it's very rare that we have a problem. But yeah, it's computers, right? It's electronics. You never know when something's or what it's going to be that's going to go. So rather than take out all the other components that you've configured inside, we're happy to send you the spare parts if that's what you're happy with.
Right, and Chris has just done a follow-up to that, and he's just saying, with spare parts going forward, will the spares be available from the UK? Thinking about if we have machines that are 4 or 5 years old, and we're waiting for spares to arrive and stuff. So basically, is the availability of spares going to be in the UK, or will they have to wait a long time?
So we're holding extra units and we're holding spares. So we're shipping spares into the UK. This project of holding the stock and not supplying just directly to large system builders, it's been going now for about a year and a bit. And so it's difficult to gauge how many spares we might need in the long term. But at the moment, we brought spares in at the beginning, and there's still plenty of them. So I think we're going to have spares for the foreseeable future for 2 or 3 years. It's only a year warranty. So I think if you need longer than that, you can either order spares, get extra spares, or you might have to try your luck when it comes to 5 years down the line. But I think, for example, if it's a power supply on the 2380, it's a flex ATX power supply. That's a common form factor. So you can use any flex ATX power supply to replace it. Or an external power supply, it's a 19 volt external power supply, which is common, whether it's from a multinational brand or whether it's the one that we provide through, I think it's FSP. So you can speak to FSP about the power supply, or you'll be able to get those spare parts in years to come. If it's, for example, a webcam or something like that, we've got plenty of those available off the shelf in stock. So we'll be able to supply the spares for a long time to come, I think.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Next of, do you have any point of sales material for these? So obviously you were getting into selling these for the first time, and you want to attract custom rather than the customer having, or should I say the shop having to make their own point of sales material, make their own posters. Do you have any preset ones already made out, whether it's digital or physical?
I wish I had the resources to be able to do that. At the moment, I don't. But if I'm welcome to suggestions, it's easy for us to arrange if there's something that people want. But typically, Loop are an ODM. We don't brand our products. They come out unbranded. So it's for you, the system builder, to brand it if you want to. The schools might want their own branding on it. So we're not promoting the Loop brand name to the end user, to the consumer. So we wouldn't provide anything that plasters Loop all over it. But if you want information, at the moment it's all digital. But I don't know anything that's better than actually seeing the product. So if you need a sample, get in touch with us or if you need me to go and visit one of your clients with you, I'm happy to take a sample with me, and we'll go and visit your customer and let them see how good the product is.
Okay, that's pretty good, and that's going above and beyond going to see the customers with them. So that's pretty good. Right, let's go for the questions, what we've had come in tonight. So let's have a look. Where were we? The first question what came in was from Richard Creedy. Will Luke be attending TechMax? I'll let you answer that one. So will you?
Gary, do you want to? Or
Well, I know you are. I just want to fight for my place now at the table.
I heard there was a dinner and drinks, so I'm definitely going to be around for that.
And that's what I'm fighting for my place for, when I heard the dinner and drinks.
So yeah, we need a petition for everybody to make sure that Gary attends TechMax and not just a few other people at CI Distribution.
Well, I reckon because Gary's volunteered to be on the show tonight, he should be the first person to go.
Exactly.
That's my opinion there. No.
Gary is the new face of CID.
There you go. So
Yeah,
so
we're definitely going to have a table there. Absolutely. It's you might hear it from everybody. I'm not trying to sing your praises or anything like that, but it's about time we had an event like this where the community can come together, see each other face to face, see the vendors, see the distributors, and just network with each other. It's so valuable to be able to do that, and then have a few drinks at the end of the day.
I'm not sure if you saw the comment what just came in from William there, but
I didn't. What was written?
So top right it says if going
out with a classic there.
Don't be chatting at the bar, you'll correct you. Oh dear.
You know,
I'm the barman. I'll be on the bar. I'll be pouring the drinks.
Well, that saves me a few quid then, if that's the case. Right, Cormac says, can we link the website? I'll stick that on the screen. I did put it up before, but this is Loops, and I'll swap over onto CI Distributions in a couple of seconds. But it's pretty straightforward. Loops website is loopint for international.com, and CI Distribution is basically cidistribution.com, so it should be pretty straightforward for you. And if you did need to get hold of Gary, here is his email address yet again. Right, so let's go back to the chat. So, and here we go. So we got evening from Chris Hodgkiss. How are we doing? Next question was from another Chris. I'm assuming you can connect a second screen to these. That was the first one you were showing. I think it was the all-in-one. Was it the 2386?
Yeah, the first two that I was showing was the Micro ATX version, or were the Micro ATX versions. That's the 2380 and the 2700. Because it's a Micro ATX motherboard, you've got all the I/O that you'd get on a normal desktop. So you'll have HDMI on that as well. So you can connect additional screens to it. On the 2385, which is the Nook Elements, there might have been a question about that, and yes, you can. There's two HDMI, an input and an output, so you can have a second screen for that too.
Yeah, I did like the input actually on the actual the 283. I get the numbers wrong where I am, but the one that ends with a 5. That one was I found that pretty good when I was reviewing it, because obviously you could use it as its own all-in-one, and then if you did have a laptop or another device you wanted to plug into it like a games console, you could just plug it in and use it as basically a monitor. So that was pretty good. Right, let's have a look. So this is from Peter. He says the Mini ITX availability has always been an issue in the channel previously. Are we finding that there's issues with that at the moment? Do you know?
Sorry, ask that question again. Sorry.
He says thin Mini ITX availability has always been an issue in the channel previously.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we're putting it inside the units. On the 2386 and 2702, they're thin Mini ITX, and he's right. Sometimes getting supply in the UK, let alone Europe, is tough, right? So we've partnered with ASUS, and we offer it as a bare bone with the thin Mini ITX inside. And I think, well, speak to CI Distribution. I think the price makes it look very competitive, really good. So we get the ASUS motherboards directly from ASUS. We have a partnership directly with them. So they're quite happy to do that with us, to offer a bare bone when it comes into the UK.
And it's good that you've actually got a branded one in there rather than some unbranded thing what no one knows about as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to sing ASUS's praises too much because they don't pay me. But it's a pretty good brand, isn't it? People trust them. So that's the reason why we go with it. There's like I said, I think earlier, there's nothing to, if people want a different thin Mini ITX, or maybe you know that there's a thin Mini ITX that can take an AMD CPU, then you can order the all-in-ones without the motherboard inside if you want. It's just that at the moment we've got the stock with the ASUS motherboards because that was a decision that we made.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Chris did say, this is another Chris, so are they in distribution or do we buy direct? He probably missed a bit of the show, but basically, yes, you buy them from CI Distribution. Well, I know CI Distribution's on here, but are they also available anywhere else?
Not in the UK.
Right.
No one else. There's other people. CI distribution are the importer. If they provide them to other distributors and work with other distributors or resellers, then you might be able to purchase them elsewhere. But CI distribution are importing these products, so they're bringing them in by the container load.
Yeah. He also asked, do you have any touchscreen all-in-ones? I think I did see you mention one of them.
Yeah, so we do. We have a few different touchscreen all-in-ones, and one of them is 21.5 inch. Just speak to CI distribution and we can let you know what's available and whether we bring it into the UK. I suppose the decisions on which models we bring into the UK depends on the demand and what we think are going to be the volume sellers. I would love to stock every single one, but I've got to be sensible about it because there's so many different IDs that we have that it wouldn't be practical to stock them all. I've tried to come up with some that have the different platforms that cater for the majority of what I see the demand out there.
Okay, that's pretty good. Let's have a look. Peter Whitehouse is going on about he might still have some BTX cases around somewhere. Let's have a look.
And I bet the reason why he said that is because of the skepticism around new platforms. I remember Intel launching BTX maybe 2006, something like that, and maybe earlier than that. And it was a great idea for keeping the CPUs cool, because that was the problem back then. But then they just changed the CPUs and they were running a lot cooler, and it made BTX not necessary. And so people kept the tooling for regular ATX, micro ATX and ATX. But so, yeah, that's probably why he talks about BTX, because new platforms, some take off and some don't take off.
Yeah,
but
true.
I feel quite confident about this one. This is a good one.
Yeah, I must admit it was pretty nice to have the CPU, the RAM, the wireless card all on one little chip. Basically, you just slot in like a laptop memory sort of thing, a couple of screws, and away you go. So I did like those. Let's go. Oh, Chris Hodgkiss says, he's answered all your questions. So I didn't need to ask you all those ones, but that's how the chat goes when I'm scrolling through it. Let's have a look. From Peter Whitehouse. A couple of questions. Number one, are CID stocking S-Type 65-watt Intel CPU to go with the Thin Mini ITX chassis? That's number one. I'm guessing that's for you
as well. I'll answer both of these, actually.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I have just got back off holiday, so I'll need to check all stock reports. So I'll quite happily come back to you, Peter, if you want to just drop me an email, and I can come back to you straight away on that. In answer to your second question, no, it doesn't.
And that is, does Stephen actually age?
I'll take it as a compliment. I did shave, especially for the show tonight.
I don't know. I don't even know where to go with that one, so I'm just not going in. Right, okay. So next up, another question from Chris. With spare part. Oh, we've already done this one. Let's have a look. Here we go. So with that in mind, can we brand our machines? So I'm guessing, can he brand them to however he wants? So it's not going to have any loops labeling on it. So I'm presuming you can put whatever you want on there. It's a bit like making a custom PC or your own custom laptop. If you can put your own branding on it and call it, I forget what your business name is, but Chris's PCs or whatever you want to call it. And if I'm right.
If customers, if they want branding or logos, or if they want help with that, then they should speak to us about that as well.
That's another service you can offer as well, is it? Okay, all right. It seems like you'll be able to offer most things. Again, guys, if you've got any more questions, send them in, because we're getting to the end of the questions. So if you do want to know anything, if you want to know, I don't know, how old Stephen actually is, or something along that line, feel free, ask the question, and we'll get it answered before the end of the show. Otherwise, William has already said, it's basically he's going to be chatting at the bar with you because you're going to be creating a queue. We've already mentioned that. And Peter's give us a nice smiley face as well, or a wink, I think that one is. And another one I got pre-show is, does CID stock the compute element cards or the Nooks?
We have got some in stock, and we will be getting more, I believe, as demand ramps up for it.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. So basically, I think that's all the questions, unless anyone else sends one over in the next 30 seconds or so. But I would suggest you take a look at this, guys, because it's basically simpler than buying a case and then the memory, the RAM, and so forth. It was actually easier and quicker for me to do this all in one than it was to build a complete custom PC, because all you had to do was take out 12 screws out the back, which are all on a little plate, take them out. You can see the element card that's got 2 screws, and that pulls out, push the other one in, stick an SSD in, and away you go. And then, or at least on the model I reviewed, you can add a 2.5-inch SSD as well if you wanted, and it supports an NVMe type SSD as well. So I actually upgraded it from an 8th Gen i3 up to the 11th Gen i5, and as I said, it took pretty much seconds to do. It didn't take any time, and very sturdy. And then it's got all the things like your webcam and everything built in and so forth, and plenty of connections. So I'll definitely be looking at getting those people who are wanting to move away from towers, because I am finding a lot more people these days are moving away from the tower, especially in the home environment. They want to get rid of that big black box from under the desk or on top of the desk. They want something a bit slimmer, and this seems to give you the performance that most people will want. So, right, okay, it doesn't seem... here we go. So Chris is saying it'd be good if you could create a relationship with Mend It.
I'd love to. I'd love to.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, it's just me from Loop in the UK. And so if you either speak to CI Distribution, they'll get onto me, but I'm on Skype, I'm on WhatsApp, I put my telephone number on the presentations. I want to be available. The truth is, I'm not always free to answer every phone call that comes in, but please reach out to me. If you want to learn more, you've got questions, please, I'm open.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to say it seems like both of these guys are here and want to help you. And by the sounds of it, we're going to see them at TechMax as well. So if you do want to see them next year in June the 24th, if I'm right, you'll be able to meet up with them and have a drink with them. So there you go, Gary. I've said that to everyone that you're going to there.
That's it. I've got to be there now.
You've got to be there now. Okay, so whoever's in charge, whether it's John or whatever, you tell them that you're going. Okay, I said so. So basically, I suggest you reach out to these guys and have a look to see what they've got. And Chris says he wants to connect with you, Mr. Loop, as well.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you, Chris.
There we go. So that should be pretty much it then for tonight. So do you have anything you want to finish this show off with, Stephen? Any last comments or anything like that?
You're giving me another chance to talk.
Yeah, but I'm putting you on a timer. You've got literally 3 seconds.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it. It's been fun. And thank you, Gary. And thank you, everybody, for your comments, for checking in.
You forgot to say thank you to the King and the Queen and everyone else as well. But anyway, over to you, Gary.
I've got to say, I miss Jenny tonight. I've got to say, I miss Jenny. I'm quite disappointed that she wasn't around.
Yeah, not normally on the shows like these. She's usually on the standard Tech Talk shows when we do the special ones like these for people like yourself. We try and keep it as minimal as possible. Otherwise, we'll end up talking all bang the microphone. We'll end up talking all night. So
give her my best regards. Give her my best regards. There you go.
Yes, I will do. So, Gary, do you have any last thoughts or anything you want to say?
Just thanks to everyone. You've got my email address. It's come up on the screen. Reach out to me if I can help in any way, and have a good evening.
Right, that's pretty good then. So, right, guys and girls, and men, gents, kings, queens, whatever you want to call yourselves, we will have a show on next Thursday at 8 o'clock. Again, we haven't announced what that'll be yet. Again, I'm waiting for a specific vendor to get back in touch with me. So I'll let you know who that is and when it is. But otherwise, if you are a tech and you are watching this and you're not a member of Tech for Techs, feel free to join Tech for Techs. We have over 1,250 members like you. It's absolutely free to join, doesn't cost you a penny. All you need to do is go to, let's see if I can find the link. Here we go. It's techfortechs.co.uk/join. And when you click the join button, make sure you fill in the questions, because if you don't, we're not going to let you in. So it's as simple as that. Don't start sending me emails saying, no, we haven't let you in. Well, you haven't let you in because you haven't filled in the questions. As simple as that. Okay, so otherwise, we'll see you next week. So that's Thursday, 8 p.m., same time. And I'll see everyone next time. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night.